Hey everybody, welcome back to the 80s Slashers YouTube channel. In this video, I will be talking about something that I don't usually talk about on this channel, and that is 80s slashers that I've never seen before. In fact, these aren't only the films I've never seen, because there are still quite a bit of those actually. No, these are the films that I consider to be on my list of shame for, having not seen them yet. We all have these types of films that, when you tell somebody that you've never seen them, their immediate reaction is, I can't believe you've never seen that. How have you never seen that movie? So, yeah, these are those films for me, within the 80s slasher subgenre of horror. So, why haven't I seen them yet? The main reason at this point is it's I simply just don't own a physical copy of the film. And yeah, I know I can easily watch these films other ways without owning a physical copy. But I'm just a collector who kind of has like a weird OCD thing where I just kind of like to own it before I watch it. It's just one of those things. It's almost like I don't deserve to watch it until I can find a copy or I buy my own copy. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. It's just kind of a weird OCD thing that I have. So I'll probably keep holding off on some of these until I, pick up a copy somehow. Um, so yeah, but as for like my excuse for not having gotten around to seeing these while growing up when I was younger, I don't know. It's just one of those things. Certain films um seem to slip by some of us, from time to time. It's just, I don't know. It's just one of those things, I guess. Now, some of these films I have seen bits and pieces of over the years. And I may have even I may have even watched some of these, sometime growing up, like watching on TV, tuned in and watched over half it or something. I just don't remember them if I did, or maybe I didn't know what it was at the time. So I'm gonna count them as because I don't know much about them, just my, the overall perceptions that I have of these films. Yeah, all right. So, let's just get right into it. Like I said, even though there is a lot of, 80s slasher films I haven't gotten around to yet. A lot of them are like lower tier types of 80s slashers that are, obscure and harder to track down. Um, these 8 films are the ones that, at least in my opinion, I think are the most well known or most viewed, within the horror community. So that's kind of why they're on my list of shame, because I haven't gotten around to seeing them yet. All right, let's get started and let's take a look at the first one. All right, so the first film we have here is American Gothic from 1987. Now, this is the only film on this list we're going to talk about that I actually own a physical copy of. I own a DVD of this. So I guess in that regard, it's especially shameful that I still haven't watched it yet. Now, if you've been following the channel for any time, I've put this one up on my, when I run like a community poll of what would you like to see reviewed next. And I put this one up, and I was ready to watch it, ready to review it, and it kept getting voted down. I think 3 times this film has gotten voted down. People have wanted to see other films, so yeah, I should just, I don't know if it's ever going to win a poll, so I should just watch it and review it. Um, Now, this one for me is, again, it's surprising I haven't seen it because the cover art for this is so iconic to me. Just growing up, it's one of those ones that I just always saw it at like in the video stores, the rentals. It was just one of those ones that it seemed every store I went to as a child, it had this to rent, and I don't know. I've never picked it up. Now, my perception of this film, and from what I've read, is this is like an average at best slasher film. I know some people like it, some people think it's just meh. I feel like what I know about this is it's a bunch of teens or young adults get stranded. I don't know if they're plane crashes or something, and they get stranded up in like the deep woods with like a crazy family who lives there, and they think they're all good and they're on vacation, and then I think obviously the crazy family starts killing people, kind of thing. So that whole like backwoods family, it's not typically my favorite within the genre. So that's maybe another reason why I've kind of held off on this. I don't think it's your typical, psycho killer in a mask hunting and stalking in a cool location. It's something a little different, and I don't know, but I do really want to see this film. So like I said, I may just review it next. And this is a Canadian film, despite the title, American Gothic. This was actually filmed in British Columbia, Canada. And so yeah, I should definitely check it out. So yeah, that's the first one, American Gothic. All right, let's move on and let's take a look at the next one. Okay, so the next one we have here from 1988, we have Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. Now, this is definitely one of the bigger titles on this list. The main reason I don't think I've ever seen this is that I've been aware of this film for a very long time, and it just never came off to me as it seemed like a true type of slasher. The more I read about it and look into it, some people do view this as a slasher. There's some definitely some slasher elements, but there's definitely something else going on here, um, in terms of film type, I guess. Um, yeah, I don't know. This is just one of those ones that has just always eluded me. I don't think I've seen anything outside of a trailer for this. And again, the Blu-ray is not the easiest to track down, and if you do, it's not like I don't think it's crazy expensive, but it's not cheap. So it's just one of those ones that I've just never found a good deal on, and maybe it's too late. The Blu-ray's passed me by, so I don't know. The and yeah, like I said, the perception that I have of this film is it just comes off as like a loud, adrenaline filled horror film with, lots of gore, lots of nudity, some chainsaw, like just a loud, visceral chainsaw. Obviously, like some slasher elements. But I this is one I definitely want to see because I feel like it's one that's right up my alley, just like a fun horror film. Just to see this for this has like horror legends in it. Gunnar Hansen, from Texas Chainsaw Massacre fame, and Linnea Quigley from everything 80s horror. She's like one of the best scream queens from the 80s. So yeah, just for those two alone, I need to check this out. So yeah, definitely shameful for I still haven't seen this one. All right, let's take a look at the next one. All right, so up next, also from 1988, we have Maniac Cop. Now, this is very similar to, Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. This is another film that's, very well known. It's part of like a franchise, like a trilogy. Very well liked in the horror community. But again, it's one of these ones that I've always had I felt like it's like, is this actually a true 80s slasher? Is it something else? So that may have been one of the reasons why it's kind of always I've just never got around to watching it. I don't know. I'm not sure, but it's definitely one that's definitely just always eluded me. I don't know. I'm someone who's not a big Evil Dead fan. They're okay. It's just again not my preferred style of horror films with the comedy and whatnot. And so yeah, so a film like this having Bruce Campbell in it, that's not really a draw for me. I like Bruce Campbell, he's fine, but it's not like I see Bruce Campbell in a film and like I need to watch it because I'm such a big fan. That's not the case for me at all. So I don't know. I am a Tom Atkins fan, however, and he's in this, so Yeah, I definitely need to check it out. The perception I have of this film, like again, it's more of it seems to me it's more of like a horror slash police procedural film that has, some slasher elements mixed in there. But this is a film directed by William Lustig, who also directed Maniac, which is one of my favorite '80s slashers of all time. So I think I'm definitely gonna like this. I feel like this is a really well-made film, like a bigger budget type feel. Good cast, good directing, good horror film. Just where does it fall within the '80s slasher? It's not your typical formula. So again, that's one of the reasons why I've probably never got around to watching it. But I definitely need to. So and this Blu-ray can be found for a pretty reasonable price. So I really have no excuse. So I need to check out Maniac Cop. All right, let's take a look at the next one. All right, so up next, from 1987, we have The Stepfather. Now, there's a theme developing here. Again, Stepfather, I view this similar to Hollywood Chainsaw Hooker's Maniac Cop. This is a well-known film, well-liked, um, and again, questionable '80s slasher formula. That's the way I've always viewed it. Um, you know, I think the biggest reason why I've never gotten around to seeing this was this always played off to me just even just by the title and like the cover art and whatnot. It just is a standard like a family style horror, and honestly, it just growing up and it just never really interested me. I don't know. It just it's just the way it was. But now, participating within the horror community, I realize people love this film, and they a lot of people view it as a straight up slasher. Some people say it's, again, it's borderline sort of '80s slasher style. Um, I don't know. Like I said, the perception I had of this film is I've always kind of viewed it within the category of like I don't know, like a hand that rocks the cradle, a Cape Fear, that style of film, like the family drama, that kind of thing, but just with a stepfather. I know there's more to it. I know there's like I don't know if there's like a split personality or like a hidden identity. I don't know. I know there's more to it than that. But yeah, I think this is a film that I'll like just based on the level of like the quality of filmmaking. I know this is like a really well made film, well written, edited, all that stuff. I think it's just a good solid horror film. I think in terms of that, I'll like it. It's just whether in comparison to other '80s slashers, how I'll view it. That's the main question for me. But again, Blu-ray not too bad. You can I can find this on Blu-ray or DVD for a reasonable price. And yeah, I don't know. I should definitely check it out. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Okay, so up next from 1982, we have Visiting Hours. This is definitely definitely a small theme developing here. Because again, I like just like the last three films. I feel like this is another one that kind of borders on that whether or not it's a stereotypical '80s slasher formula. I feel like there's something else going on here. Um, you know, clearly I gravitate towards the regular slasher formula from the '80s. That's just my preference. So when there's these films that pop up that are like questionable where they fall, I usually always go with a Graduation Day if or over Visiting Hours. It's just I don't know, just the way I am, I guess. Um, yeah, the reason I've never seen this one, I guess, I've never really had much interest in it until lately. I was pretty much unaware of this film. Um, yeah, like growing up, like I don't think I had ever like seen this, like maybe a little bit, but it doesn't really spark many memories growing up. It wasn't really until like when Scream Factory released their Blu-ray there, it's on like a double feature pack, that it kind of popped on my radar and I looked into it and people are like, oh, it's a slasher, it's something else, it doesn't. quite follow the formula. So I'm like, okay, I kind of want to see that, but um, I don't know. I just haven't gotten to it yet. All I really know about it is, it seems like the primary setting is within like a hospital. There's like a crazy psychotic killer who's on the loose, and he tries to kill someone. They get away, and they go to a hospital. So he tracks him down at the hospital, which sounds very similar to Halloween and Halloween 2. I know it stars William Shatner, Michael Ironside, so that's great. Those are two fun actors to watch in horror films for sure. And that's about all I know, really. Hospital setting, killer on the loose, Shatner and Ironside. Um, so I don't know. I feel like I need to see it because I know people like this film quite a bit. Again, it feels like it's a well-made, well-directed, scripted, all that stuff, well acted, like a, a top tier in quality of horror film. It's just where does it meet the 80s slasher formula? So that's kind of where I'm at between and that's not like an excuse for not watching these. If it's not an 80s slasher, I won't watch it. Like that's, I watch all horror films. It's just, when I'm trying to every week trying to put out content for watching 80 slashers and reviewing them and whatnot, these ones kind of fall down the list for me just because there's other ones I want to get to and other ones that I'm buying ahead of these ones. It's simply what it is, and at this point they've just got pushed down. So but I need to get to these ones. I'm running out of like the good formulaic 80 slashers, and this is what I'm left with, these types of borderline films, which are really good apparently. Just they've eluded me over the years. So yeah, so that's how much I pretty much have to say for visiting hours. We have we have three left here, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, so up next from 1981 we have Dark Night of the Scarecrow. Now, for those of you who may not know, this is actually a made-for-TV slasher film that aired. I don't know. I think it was like ABC, CBS, one of like the networks in 1981, and I think this film's kind of had a little resurgence in popularity due to like the recent Blu-ray and DVD releases it received a few years back. Why I've never watched this film, I never knew this one existed until I first discovered the Blu-ray. And then I looked into it. I'm like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. An 80s slasher, which this one apparently is fairly formulaic. It's undeniably an 80s slasher. And yeah, I don't know. I'd never seen it on TV growing up, and there was no physical copies that I'd ever seen until like said the Blu-ray got released. I don't know, and I think the fact another reason why I've maybe held off on this for a little while recently is just the fact that it made for TV, so it kind of made me shy away a little bit just because how much violence can be in this film. There's no nudity. There's probably not a ton of gore. So it's just I don't know. The Blu-ray's super cheap. This one's an easy pickup. It's one of those ones I pick this or do I go with, Girls Night Out, which I like my most recent pickup. I've been leaning towards those ones, I don't know. Yeah, the perception I have of this is like I think I'm gonna like this film. I really do. Even like I said, even though it is probably more tame than I usually prefer, I think um I don't know. I think just like I know a little bit about the plot and the story and how this plays out, and I think just like the plot and just like the horror elements that they're gonna have are gonna be strong. So even though there's no nudity and there's no probably super graphic, gory kills with like practical effects and whatnot, I think the other elements are gonna hold it up so it's an enjoyable experience. 'Cause I know people love this film. It's well liked. It's pretty popular. It's from 1981, like the golden age of the slasher film. So yeah, I have no excuse for for not seeing this film. Like I said, it's a cheap Blu-ray. It's like $20. I think you can probably get it for under $20 on sale sometimes on Amazon. I just need to grab this one and watch it. Yeah. So Dark Knight of the Scarecrow, definitely a strong candidate for my list of shame. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, so up next from 1987, we have Slumber Party Massacre 2. Now, this might be my most shameful. Uh, the film that I'm most embarrassed for not having seen, because I love the original film so much. It's like in my top five of 80 slashers of all time. I love the original Slumber Party Massacre. But again, I don't have a physical copy of this film. And the Blu-ray for this is crazy money. Like I missed it. I missed the window, and it's like we're talking like hundreds of dollars, like over $100 for the Blu. I think it comes with in a two pack with part two and part three. And I'm not paying over $100 for a Blu-ray just because it's harder to pick up. I'm just not gonna do it. If I ever come across this on DVD at a thrift store, I'd be so happy. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Um, but yeah, why I've never seen this even before now, like before the Blu-ray release, I honestly don't know. I don't know. I don't know how this one has escaped me over the years. I've seen lots about it. I've seen the trailers. I've seen parts. I feel like I have seen parts of this on TV. Growing up and whatnot. Um, I don't know. It's really a mystery how I've never seen this because I feel like this is the exact type of film that I love to watch. Um, like honestly, at this point, like in the last 5, 10 years, it's just I've been holding out for a physical copy. It's that weird, like as I talked about at the beginning, kind of the weird OCD collector thing. Um, I don't know, very strange. Now the my perception that I have of this film, I view this one similar to like the Sleepaway Camp franchise. I feel like the first Sleepaway Camp and the first Slumber Party Massacre are like these stereotypical 80s slasher, but then the sequels like Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3 is completely different to the original. This weird, wacky, dark, black humor, but like a lot of fun and like more lively, I guess. And that's how I view. That's my perception of the sequels to the original Slumber Party Massacre. It's got like a weird music, I think the weapon is like a crazy shaped like guitar. I think there's some like supernatural elements thrown in there. It just seems kind of zany, wild, crazy, just over the top with some comedy. Um, yeah, like in comparison to the first one, it's going to be a completely different viewing experience. But I feel like if I like it, like I said, and I think I will, I feel like it'll be for completely different reasons than I like the original because they seem like they're completely different. So I don't know. I definitely am really curious about this film, and it's terrible that I've never seen it. I actually own, a copy of this. So I could watch it tonight, I don't have a physical copy, but I have a version that I have. And I've just held off onto it just because, like I said, I'm trying to find the physical copy, but unless it gets like another Blu-ray re-release, I don't think I'm ever gonna own this Blu-ray. And like I said, unless I luckily come across it in a used like a thrift store or something, and no somebody doesn't realize what they have, or like the VHS tape. I don't know, so I'm not sure what I'll do. I feel like I should just watch it. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I can overcome my weird issue I have because I just need to watch it. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So Slumber Party Massacre 2, definitely a shameful one for me. All right, let's take a look at the last one on my 80s slashers list of shame. Okay, so the last one we have here from 1986 is Sorority House Massacre. Now, this is one that I've wanted to see since I was a kid because it's another one that I have vivid memories always seeing this one at the video stores. Just the cover art for me is very iconic. And it's just the title really. Like the cover art, there's nothing special about the cover art, but just the title of the film, Sorority House Massacre. I just as a kid I saw that. it just draws you in. You're like, oh, what is that? Like, what's this about? Um, so yeah, but again, why I haven't seen it, I don't know. It's just one of those ones that that's just eluded me over time. This is another one I think I've seen parts of it. Probably decent sized parts of it over the years on TV and whatnot, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember too much about it, if anything. Um, so I don't know. Yeah, and this is another one where the Blu-ray is really expensive. It's not as expensive as Slumber Party Massacre 2. You can go on eBay and pick up Sorority House Massacre for me in Canada with the conversion, the shipping, all that stuff. It'll cost me north of 50, maybe $60. And I just there's been a couple times I've had it in my cart and I almost pulled the trigger and I'm just like, man, um, I just don't know if I want to drop $60 on this film. Because the perception I have of this film is I don't think it's a very good one. I think it's not too well liked. I'm sure it has its fans, but from what I've read and I just feel like it's not it's not a strong slasher. I know there's a supernatural element involved in it, which makes me a little cautious, just because it's not typically the style of slasher that I prefer. So, yeah, dropping $60 on a movie like this, I don't know. I would like to find the DVD for like $5 at a thrift store or eBay or something. Even 10 or 20, I would gladly pay. But I don't know. Like I said, it's just for me. This is just the title. Like I just want to see this film because of the title. Anything with like the massacre in the title, is just it's great. It just screams my type of horror film. Slumber Party Massacre is one of the best titles around, and Sorority House Massacre is right behind it. So I don't know. That it's just kind of the thing that kind of draws me in. So I definitely have always wanted to see it, and I never have. And this is again, I have a copy of this, like Slumber Party Massacre 2. I have a copy available to me to watch. So um, I may just have to sit down and watch it someday, and just don't worry about the whole physical thing. And I know it's pretty stupid, but I don't know. So yeah, that's it. That's my 8 films, I guess, that I consider my list of shame for 80s slashers. Films that I've definitely should have gotten around to watching, and I will watch eventually. But yeah. So anyway, if you guys stuck around, thanks for watching, and yeah, until next time. All right, see ya.